Jungkook stood at the entrance of his parents' living room, his fingers tightly wrapped around Wyan's hand. He took a then stepped forward with her. Mom, Dad, Jungkook said softly. His parents looked up from the sofa. His mother's eyes immediately went to the girl standing beside her son. Wan wore a simple dress, her head neatly tied back, her posture calm but respectful. This is Wan, Jungkook continued, the one I told you about. Wan bowed her head slightly. Hello, auntie, uncle. Before Jungkook's parents could respond, a sudden gasp filled the room. Jaehyun, Jungkook's little brother, who had been lazily sitting on the floor with his phone froze. His eyes widened in shock as soon as he saw Vian. He stood up slowly, staring at her as if she was not real. You, Jaehyun whispered under his eyes fixed on her face. Vian noticed him. Of course, she met his gaze for a brief second, then calmly looked away, acting as if this was completely normal. No reaction, just quiet composure. Jungkook did not notice Jaehyun's expression. He was too focused on his parents. Jungkook took a step forward, his voice firm but emotional. Mom, Dad, he said, I want to marry with her. The room went silent. One heart beat in fear slightly, her grip on Jungkook's hand tightening. Her heart started beating faster, but she kept her face calm. Jungkook's father studied them quietly, his expression unreadable. Then Jungkook's mother smiled. It was gentle, full of understanding. One, she said kindly, patting the space beside her. Come here. Wan hesitated for a second, then let go of Jungkook's hand and walked toward his mother. She sat beside her carefully, her hands folded on her. Jungkook's mother placed a comforting hand over Wan's. I have heard a lot about you, she said with a soft chuckle. Jungkook never stops talking about you. He always praises you and your nature, your strength, your kindness. Van felt her cheeks up. She lowered her gaze and smiled shyly. He exaggerates, Auntie, Van said softly. Jungkook smiled, unconsciously watching her. Jaehyun, however, was still standing there. His eyes moved between Van and his brother. His parted as if wanted to say something, but no words came out. Why is she here? And with Taehyung he thought. Jungkook's mother gently squeezed Van's hand. I can see why my son likes you. Van finally looked up, her eyes meeting Jungkook's for a brief moment. There was a nervousness in them, but also trust. Jungkook took a step closer, standing behind them, unaware that his little brother's world had just turned upside down. And Jaehyun realized one thing clearly: the girl he never expected to see again was about to become his sister-in-law. Jungkook smiled as he walked in beside Van through the wide hallway. This is living area, he said, and that door leads to the garden. Mom loves plants. Van nodded, admiring the elegant interior. Everything felt. Just then Jungkook's phone rang. He checked the screen and frowned slightly. It's my secretary. It might be important. He looked at Van apologetically. I'll be back in a minute, okay? Ryan smiled softly. It's fine. I'll just look around. Jungkook squeezed her hand once before walking away to check the call. As soon as he disappeared around the corner, Ryan slowly started walking on her own. Her fingers brushed the expensive frames on the wall, the quiet of the house surrounding her. She turned toward a corridor and suddenly someone grabbed her and pulled her inside a room. Hey, Van gets up. The door shut behind them. Van looked up sharply. Jaehyun, her eyes instantly. She jerked her hand away from his grip. What the is wrong with you? She snapped. Jaehyun stared at Jo tight eyes. What are you doing here? Van let out a short scoff. Cannot you see? She said coldly. I'm going to marry your brother. Jaehyun's teeth clenched. Don't trap my Hyung in your he said angrily. You know how to act innocent. Van rolled her eyes, completely unimpressed. First of all, she said sharply, stepping closer. Don't give me advice. I know exactly what I am doing. She pointed at his. And your brother? Me. Her voice dropped, cutting. One more thing. He did not on me like you did, Jaehyun. Jaehyun looked away for a second, then laughed bitterly. I had my and you did not fulfill them, so don't blame me, he said harshly. One expression turned ice cold. I don't want to hear your reasons, she said firmly. Just know this. She leaned closer, her eyes fearless. I'm going to be your brother's wife, so respect me. She stepped back, clear in her voice. And don't ever try to me again, otherwise you won't like the consequence. Without waiting for a reply, Van opened the door and walked out, her head held high. Jaehyun stayed frozen in the room, fist clenched. The house was a quiet, wrapped in the calm of night. Soft light glowed inside Jungkook's bedroom, giving the space a. The door opened slowly. Jungkook stepped inside and froze for a moment. Van was already there, standing near the. She was nervous, her fingers twisting together, her heart beating fast. When her eyes met his, she smiled shyly. Jungkook's curved into a gentle smile. He walked in and quietly locked the door behind him. The sound made once. He moved closer and wrapped his arms around her carefully, as if she was something precious. Van relaxed into his and hugged him back, feeling safe and you are finally. Jungkook whispered softly. Before she could reply, Jungkook lifted her effortlessly in his arms. Van gasped softly and held onto his shoulder as he carried her to the. He sat down with her resting on his, her forehead leaning against his. They stayed like that for a few seconds, just each other in. Slowly, Van pulled back. Cook, she said hesitantly, I want to tell you some. Jungkook smiled and gently placed a finger on her. We'll talk later, he said in a low, affectionate voice. Tonight, just be with me, wifey. One cheeks turned pink. She, her shyly, unable to meet his eyes. Jungkook chuckled softly. He cupped her cheeks with his thumb, brushing her skin tenderly. Can I? He asked quietly, eyes searching hers, asking for a permission. Fan nodded slowly. That was all he needed. Jungkook leaned and placed his on hers. The slow and full of. It was not rushed. It was careful and meaningful, like a promise. One melted into him, her hands holding onto him as if she never wanted to let go. The night wrapped in each other's. They shared whispers and unspoken emotion, giving themselves completely to one another, not just as a husband and wife, but as a two souls finally becoming a one. Van was sitting near the window, the evening breeze brushing against her face. Her phone was pressed to her ear as she talked quietly. On the other side of the call was her best friend. Van, did you tell Jungkook the truth? Jia asked gently. Van sighed, her fingers tightening around the phone. No, I did not tell him. She said in a low voice. I'm afraid, Jia. What if he starts hating me? I don't want to lose him. There was a brief silence. Then Jia spoke carefully. Listen, Van, you did not do anything wrong. Okay? Van closed her eyes, listening. My advice is don't tell him anything now. Some things are better left unspoken. Just live your life happy. Van let out a small. Okay, she replied softly. Then Jia's tone suddenly turned playful. By the way, how is life going with your. A smile slowly appeared on Van's face. It's good. I'm lucky to have him. Jia, he take care of me. He's a true gentleman. She said honestly. She leaned her head against the wall. Her smile. He respects me so much. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve him. Jia chuckled. I'm so happy for you, my friend. And finally got a someone who her the way she deserved. She said. One felt her cheeks. She smiled shyly, her heart filling with her. Thank you, she whispered. Just then she heard footsteps behind her. Jungkook, he stopped near the door, watching her quietly, a soft smile on his. He did not hear the conversation, but he could see the happiness on her face. Wan turned around and met his eyes. She ended the call and stood up. Jungkook walked toward her and pulled her into his arms without a word. Wan rested her head on his, closing her eyes. In that moment, she wished that alone would be enough to protect this happiness, but this is enough. Late at night, the house was wrapped in silence except for the soft sounds coming from the Jungkook and Wan's bedroom. Jaehyun stood in his room, frozen, his fist clenched tightly as he stared at the wall, his jaw tightening when he clearly understood what was happening inside. He is with Wan, he muttered under his eyes. I will not let you live happy. 4 hours later, the bedroom door slowly opened. Jungkook stepped out, holding a water bottle in his hand. A soft smile rested on his peaceful content after spending a time with his wife. He walked toward the kitchen, but something caught his eyes. Through the glass doors, Jaehyun, he was standing alone in the garden, facing back and forth. Jungkook hesitated and continued walking. The moment Jaehyun saw him, he rushed forward and grabbed Jungkook's, pulling him outside. Jaehyun, what are you doing? Jungkook snapped. Jaehyun swallowed. Hyung, I need to tell you something. Something important about Van. Jungkook frowned. What? Jaehyun nodded, slowly pretending to be hesitant. During my college days, I used to date Van. Jungkook eyes widened. What? Jaehyun continued quickly, lowering his gaze. But then she, on me, Hyung, I'm scared she might do the same with you. Jungkook went completely silent. After a few seconds, Jungkook spoke calmly, but his voice was cold. So, he asked slowly, you are saying she on you? Jaehyun nodded, acting. Yes, Hyung, his words were cut off. A slap landed across Jaehyun's face, making him stumble back in shock. Jaehyun looked up stunned. Jungkook stood there, eyes blazing with anger, his jaw clenched, fist trembling. You on her, Jungkook said sharply, every word heavy with a fury. And now you are blaming her for something she never did. Jaehyun's he. Do you really think I don't know the truth? Jungkook continued. I know everything about her. Jaehyun's face went pale. He started to shake as a fear crawled into his. Jungkook took a step closer, his voice low and don't ever try to my marriage again. And don't ever try to her again. Jaehyun swallowed, realizing he had underestimated his for Van and Jungkook was not playing about Van. Author point of view, Jungkook knows everything about Van when he first time met with her. When Jungkook find out she was dating a Jaehyun and then they broke up, so Jungkook find out that the reason behind their breakup was Jaehyun who on Van. Meanwhile, Van at first went to Jungkook just to take her on Jaehyun by dating his brother means Jungkook, but the moment she saw him, Jungkook, she forgets everything. Jungkook was a kind man, a true gentleman that made Van fall in with him. And after that, Jungkook and Van started to. And Jungkook know that Van come to him but he chose to instead of fighting her because she deserved not the betrayal Jaehyun gave her.